Hello, my fellow weirdos. I've got a bunch of phone calls to make, and yeah, I'm having issues. They called me, I told you about this, to change me from SSI the month after I turned 62. And they told me if I would not get kicked off SSI. Well, I did. And they never responded back to me. They said when I finally we had to go there and I had to wait, things are going to be shut off, internet and stuff, my phone. So I don't know. I'm going to have to see what I can do. But they put in put in an application to request my own benefits, and they put in an application to request my um, ex-husband from like decades ago. But I was his only wife, and his was like $150 more a month. Okay, but they needed my our marriage and license and our divorce paper, and I've got it buried somewhere. But because my wrist and my back and my foot has been killing me so much in the last several months, I haven't. I told her I'm having a hard time finding the damn, briefcase. And I said, but if it was just that you don't need that for my to request my own benefits. That would so what I don't still don't understand is I can understand for my for beneficiary from an ex spouses. Yeah, you'd need to see that. Make sure you were married at least the 10 years. Make sure But first of all, wouldn't the state have access to that? I gave them the dates, the time. I mean, I just didn't know the date of the divorce. But the marriage license, you can see I have the names, the dates. They can't get that. And I tried to tell her, I said, well, I can't request those. They cost money. I have no money now. Well, I understand, but I'm just telling you what you need to. Why can't they get that themselves? Why isn't it accessible to them if I grant the permission for them to retrieve it? If I even need to. First of all, and second of all, what does a marriage or a divorce decree have anything to do if for just my own benefit application? This is what none of this makes sense. Even my case manager from Mental Health Association said this doesn't make any sense. I could understand denying the beneficiary application because they didn't get that, although they could get it easier than a private person. I said I'm not even in Arizona. I'm in New Jersey. And the phone is 2 days. I mean, this is like shit that's like not even funny. So I've got to make all these calls. But all of this I haven't didn't start looking last night and stuff because I have been so stressed out. I'm having physical signs that aren't good when I'm overstressed. So the internet, if I don't pay them 150 by the 5th, they will cut it off because they're assholes. If I don't have $20 in the next couple of days, the phone will be cut off for 20, 16, $17. Seriously. It's absolutely absurd. The rent and the electric and the gas, I'm not worried about, but the internet and phone, I don't have a car. That's all I've got. Both are necessary. And meanwhile, Senator Joni Ernst, I'm sure you've all seen that, tells us people in her town hall were worried and scared. They're saying, he's with all the things they've already killed people from other countries without our aid, and now people in our country are going to die because you've cut off the SNAP, and you've cut for a lot of people, and all the different programs and the medical stuff, and it's all been reduced and going to be cut. And that's what she says, well, we're all going to die. And then she follows that up with the apology of, and I'm sure I was gonna play it, let you hear it, but I'm sure you've already heard it. She says, I'm sorry. She was doing, as she was walking through a freaking cemetery when she gave the apology, saying, I thought everybody in the audience was aware that everybody will perish from this earth. So I'm sorry if that. She was gaslighting us, making it sound like, well, we are all going to die. And I'm sorry if some people don't know that everybody dies, everything dies eventually. She goes, but if you want everlasting life, you can devote your life or something like that to my Lord and Savior. Lady, that made it like 10 times worse, because you're doing it walking through a graveyard, and you're gaslighting people to act like all those adults in the room don't know logically, physically, everything dies. She knew damn well what we mean by people are dying. People are dying unnecessarily, and she wants to not only say, well, I thought all adults, basically, it's like, well, I thought all adults understood that all things die eventually, completely overlooking the fact that people are dying unnecessarily. And she tries to like stupid shame you or something, so like you'll go running to become a Christian, so they can indoctrinate you and just tell you have to believe. Or when you ask, show me any proof other than the Bible that proves that something phenomenon was going on, and this is actually what happened, and there's no other proof. With any other text of any other times talking about any of this weird stuff going on with those people, except in the Bible. So, your proof is the thing in question. That always has irritated me. How can you not? And that's why I stopped believing in organized religion. Because a non-denominational and a Christian place both said, and a cult one, not Scientology, all said, well, it's just what that says. It is. That's grooming, and that is indoctrination. Those little catchphrases they use. So yeah, we're all going to die. I'm sorry if people didn't understand that people all die. So I'm under a lot of stress. And last night, I wasn't about to start digging because I don't have anybody available to, even if I had it today, right in my hand. If I found my briefcase under something, and there's somebody to get me there anyway. And I have no printer, so it's not like I can send it or anything. Yeah. And the only way is, once I have it, is to bring it in. And I asked, well, do I need an appointment once I have? She goes, no, just bring them in. There's a thing you can drop. And I was like, so I just get a copy? She goes, no, we need the copy you have. And I was like, then you have what I need. for something else. She goes, well, we'll get it back to you. I'm like, it's like I'm just supposed to be fine and dandy with that? So, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I can't find them, maybe my case manager can have them help me just, and I'll pay them back so they can get them they can request it. They'll get it faster. They can just request them, send it to them. Digital, you know what I mean? I don't know. But right now, I've got to, today sometime, but not right this second. It's like not even noon yet. It's like 10. So, at any rate, yeah. We're all gonna die. I made a short, and I made a mention about the Republicans could stop this anytime they want. They could not vote for the bills. And there are a handful that have said for some time, well, I don't ascribe to Maga per se. Well, Kinzinger, Cheney, they change parties. I mean, if you're a Republican in the Congress and you really don't really want to be associated with what but the MAGAs are doing, and that is the Republican Party, and that's just the way it is. It's not going to change anytime soon. So the longer you remain a Republican, registered as a Republican, you're just giving them power. And you're shackling yourself because you feel like you have to go with your party. You're in the seat. You're allowed to change your party, you know. Cinema did it. I mean, they've done it once they got elected by the only party that would elect them under. Then they went and switched their thing, and then said, nah, really, I'm a Republican. So Republicans that don't agree with everything that's going on, you can do the same thing. You know, you can do the same thing. Or you can be an independent. There's a lot of things you could do. Or you could 25th Amendment him. Or you could impeach. I mean, but if you actually register and become a Democrat, then we're flipping the seats with no election. You get what I'm saying? You could do something. And a lot of these votes, it's a very margin. So if you have a Republican senator, if your Republican senator is one of those few that routinely disagrees with their party, but they're trying to keep their head down, but you can see they don't agree with a lot of the stuff, maybe when you make your daily calls, tell them that. Keep putting that in their mind. You could change to a Democrat. You could change to a Democrat. You could change to a Democrat. Then the votes are different. And that can change it. One or two or three of you guys that don't agree with MAGA, that are Republicans, could become a Democrat, and then the flips and everything changes before the 2026 election. You could do that, you know. You could. And then you wouldn't just be standing alone as a Republican that doesn't agree with something, so MAGA's going to jump on you. At least you'd have a little bit of numbers when you're in the Democratic Party. I am a registered Democrat, but that's because I have to be a Democrat or Republican to work on the elections, which one is coming up for us. I would be an independent if I didn't work the elections. What is stopping that handful of Republican Congress representatives and senators? Why are you still a Republican and giving that extra seat to them? If you don't agree with them, flip your seat yourself by flipping yourself. Officially do it. Cut the damn ties if you really mean you don't agree with them. He's not long for the political circle. It's not like he's got decades left. And he certainly doesn't have that left physically. He's gonna primary me. Trust me, if he was dead, and I'm not suggesting anybody do, but he's old, if he's out of Earth, if the universe does that, there's a lot of people that are in the Republican Party that are lockstep with him that will sigh a sigh of relief that they don't have to fucking play that game anymore. They're weak. But those Republicans that don't agree with this and keep reminding us of that, then stand up and change your party. I got phone calls to make so I don't get shit turned off before the government pulls their heads out of their ass, because there's no reason why just applying for my own Social Security benefits do they need to know my birth or divorce, fucking stuff. But I need that to get back onto SSI. How effed up is that? Until they can figure out what the